I hope you have with you your paper and ball pen or notebook and ball pen. Okay. So we are going to talk about conditional, converse, inverse, contrapositive, and in the biconditional statement. So the fourth kind of the compound proposition form and that we are going to consider first is the conditional. Because from that conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive will be the, um, I mean, converse, inverse, and contrapositives was derived from the logical operation, the conditional statement. So it's not new to you because we usually do it in geometry class, the conditional statement. Okay, so just a sort of review about the conjunction and the disjunction. Hello. Okay, about the conjunction and the disjunction proposition. Remember that in the conjunction proposition, that will be true if both the propositions P and Q are true. Otherwise, the whole compound proposition will be false. For the disjunction proposition, the compound proposition is true when at least one of the proposition P and Q is true. We take note at least one. So if P is true and Q is true, then the whole compound proposition will also be true. So we have now the um, conditional proposition P and Q. So we are going to read this one as if P, then Q. P there is the premise or the hypothesis, and Q there is the conclusion. Okay, so let's consider the proposition P. You earn 90 in GenMath. Tapos ang Q natin, I will buy you a new cellphone. Set ko lang itong papasok. So again, this is the hypothesis or the premise, and this is the conclusion. So that will be read as if P, ito kung kailan mag-start out sa pasukan, if P, then Q. So let us examine now the truth table of the proposition, I mean the logical operators of the conditional proposition. So mga to sabi ko pumasok bago mag 7:30 para di ako maistorbo. Itong first column, yun yung hypothesis or premise. Itong second column is the conclusion. That is true when the premise is true and the conclusion is true. That's also true when the premise is false but the conclusion is true. If the premise and the are both true, the whole compound proposition is also true. Nagiging false lang siya kapag ang ating premise is true but the conclusion is false. Gets? Nakuha po ba kung kailan siya nagiging false? So, looking at the truth table, when the premise is false, no matter what the truth value of the conclusion, the whole compound proposition is true. Kapag yung ating premise or hypothesis ay true, kahit na ano yung truth value ng ating conclusion, it will yield to a true proposition. Okay? Okay. Now let's consider yung ating third column column kasi, I mean second column pala, which is false. Doon lang siya nagiging false. Ito yung tinatawag natin sa totoong buhay na broken promise. Kasi nagiging false lang yung ating conditional proposition if P is false, I mean, if P is true and Q is false. Kaya sinabi ko, this is the case of the broken promise. Sinasabi natin na promise are made to be broken. Meron pala talaga siyang scientific basis pala. Okay? Let's consider yung proposition, you earn 90 in general mathematics, and Q is, I will buy you a new cell phone. If you earn 90 in general, kasi in the compound proposition, there will be, dadagdagan mo lang siya ng if at saka then. If you earn 90 in Gen Math, then I will buy you a new cell phone. That's the conditional. If you earn a 90 in Gen Math, then I will buy you a cell phone is true. Pero this does not mean that you will earn 90 in Gen Math. All it says that if you do so, then I will buy you a new cell phone. Get it? May pumapasok pa? Now, if you think of this as a promise, the only way that it can be broken, hindi tinupad yung pangako, if you earn 90 in Gen Math and I do not buy you a cell phone, doon lang siya nagiging false. Kapag nakakuha ka ng 90 pero hindi kita binilhan ng cellphone, that is called the broken promise. Okay? Now, let's take a look with this compound proposition. We have there the proposition P is that GB is a grade 11 student. I want you to use the chat box and then consider the following conditional propositions. If GB is in grade 11, this is the premise, then she is a senior high school student. Can you tell me if that is a true proposition or false proposition? True or false? Proposition P sub 1. If GB is in grade 11, then she is a senior high school student. Very good. That's a true proposition. Kasi, ginamit natin yung ating, how do you call this one? The original proposition, which is GB is in grade 11 students. Of course, if you are a grade 11 student, then you are a senior high school student. The premise is true. The conclusion is true. That makes it a true compound proposition. Very good. Let's have the proposition P sub 2. If GB is in grade 11, then she is working as a lawyer. Is it a true proposition or false proposition? I mean, mali. Is it a true compound proposition or false compound proposition? False, Daniela, false. Okay, very good. That's false because it's impossible for you to get a degree or to have a degree when you are still a grade 11 student. So the premise is true. GB is in grade 11, but the conclusion is false. She is working as a lawyer. Nakakita ka na ba ng grade 11 at the same time lawyer? So it's false. Okay? Let's have for number 3, if GB has a degree in computer science, that's the premise, then she believes in true love. Is it a true or false proposition? GB has a degree. Remember, our assumption is that GB is in grade 11. Oh, true. Can you tell me what makes it true? Kasi medyo diverse yung ating answer. Ba't hindi ko mabuksan yung chat? Ayun. True, false, true, false, true, false. Can anyone, why is it the proposition is true? And why is it that the proposition is false? Can someone unmute himself or herself? Bakit siya naging true at bakit siya naging false? Anyone? Chini?
Sir, false po kasi GB is a grade 11 student, yet why would he has a degree in computer science?
Very good. The premise is false. So concerned ako doon sa conclusion. Ano ang sagot mo, Chini? Yung buong statement, ano, true or false?
False po.
False. Okay, siya ay false kasi tama naman itong sagot. False yung premise o yung hypothesis. What about the conclusion? She believes in true love.
Sir, possible na maging true po yung conclusion.
Okay. Rinig ako. Yun. Possible na true ang ating conclusion, that's correct. Possible din na false yung ating conclusion. Am I correct? So,
Opo.
balikan natin ang truth table. The premise is false. But no matter what the value of the conclusion, whether it's true or false, whether GB believes in true love, the compound proposition will always yield to a truth table. So wala tayong pakialam kung si GB ba ay naniniwala sa totoong love, basta't yung ating premise ay false. No matter what GB believes in true love or not, true man yan o false, that will still yield to a true truth table. Okay? So babalikan mo to na kahit na anuman, kasi false na yung ating premise, mag-true man yan, naniniwala man siya sa true love, or mag-false man yan, hindi siya naniniwala sa true love, still, ang ating proposition ay true. Okay? So yun yung magiging pattern natin yung ating truth table ng conditional statement. Okay? Very good. At least naintindihan. So here are some of the ways how to rephrase the conditional statement because others maybe are reading some other references and you will be shocked that there are other ways of writing the conditional statement other than if and then. So when you have the conditional statement, if it's Tuesday, then if it's Tuesday, this must be a brand new house and lot. So other way of saying that, it's being Tuesday implies that this is a brand new house and lot. You could also say that this is a brand new house and lot if it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday only if this is a brand new house and lot. It can't be Tuesday. So, ninegate natin yung ating P. It can't be Tuesday unless this is a brand new house and lot. It's being Tuesday, so it's sufficient for this brand new house and lot, or that a brand new house and lot is necessary condition for its being Tuesday. Okay. For the converse, inverse, contrapositive, you'll just look at the original statement. Hello? Okay, medyo late ako. You just look at the original statement, which is the conditional proposition. Yung ating converse, babalik ta rin lang natin. Ang premise, naging conclusion na siya. Ang conclusion, magiging premise. Yung kanina na hypothesis or premise, tapos siya ay magiging conclusion na ngayon. Yung Q, which is our conclusion, will now becomes the premise or the hypothesis. Okay? The contrapositive will be the negation of the converse, while the inverse is the negation of the conditional. You can take the notes of that kasi medyo ako nalilito din ako minsan kung sino ang negation ni conditional. So converse, binaliktad natin, that's converse. The negation of the converse, that's the contrapositive. while the negation of the conditional, that's the inverse proposition. Now, I want you to take a look with the truth table of the following logical connectors: the converse, the inverse, the contrapositive, and the conditional. What have you noticed? You look at the truth table of the four logical connectors. Is there something extraordinary, or no, nothing is observable in that four tables?
Sir.
May napapansin ba kayong kakaiba? Or wala? Anyone? Ano ang napansin? Hinayos ko na yung table para obvious yung sagot eh.
Sir.
What's
No.
this? Marian.
Yung sa Converse po and Inverse, pareho lang po yung result niya sa pinaka third column. Pati po yung contrapositive and conditional.
Very good. The term there is logically equivalent. The converse statement and the inverse statement are logically equivalent. On the other hand, the contrapositive is logically equivalent to conditional statement. Okay, false. Pareho yung conclusion po. That's correct. It's the one of the property, I think, Daniela, of the conditional statement, that when the premise is false and the conclusion is false, it will give us a true proposition. False, false implies false. Okay? Now, the next one, we have the biconditional proposition. So when the biconditional proposition happens, that will only be true if the proposition, the premise or the hypothesis and the conclusion have the same truth value. True, true implies true. False, false implies true. Ulitin ko, biconditional statement that is only true if the propositions P and Q have the same truth value. True and true implies true. False, false implies true. Otherwise, that is false. Ito yung if the sum of the angle, no, if the sum of the angle, if a triangle has a 90-degree angle, then it is a right angle. If it is a right angle, then it is a right triangle. Ibig sabihin, tama ba yung example ko? Naka-record pa naman to, ano? Sorry for that. Yung papunta, true. Yung pabalik, true. I'm not sure with my last example. My God, naka-record pa naman to. Kapag siya ay right angle, din ibig sabihin pwede yung Pythagorean sa kanya. Kung Pythagorean yan, ibig sabihin pwede yung right, pwede siya sa right angle. Okay? Papunta true, yung pabalik true din. Hindi siya kagaya sa conditional na importante yung truth table ng dalawa, yung premise at saka yung conclusion. If and only if. Okay. Let's try this one. Tingnan natin if what's the truth table of the following propositions. Our assumption is that Flor is in grade 11 if and only if she is a senior high school student. Take note, our assumption is that Flor is a grade 11 student. Ito ba ay true or false? True. Kasi ang assumption natin ay true. Flor is in grade 11. She is a senior high school student if and only if she is a senior high school student. True ito, malamang true yung buong compound proposition. Second, Q. Flor is in grade 11 if and only if she is working as a lawyer. False, very good. Kasi magkaiba ang kanyang truth value. True yung ating premise, pero yung conclusion natin ay false. Magkaiba siya, ibig sabihin false. Okay? R. Flor sa degree in computer science if and only if She believes in true love. Okay. Dito na tayo magkakaroon ngayon ng dalawang sagot. Kasi, this is false. Floor don't have the degree of computer science. If the second, the conclusion is she does believe in that's false, then that makes the whole statement true. Okay? Pero kapag ang ating second statement, Floor believes in true love, that's true, magiging false yung buong statement na yun. Kasi magkaiba sila ng truth value. You get it? By conditional and conditional, anong pinagkaiba nila? Klaro ba? Klaro ha? So ulitin ko, ang logically equivalent ay si converse at saka si contrapositive. Correct? Si converse at saka si contrapositive. Si conditional, ang kaparehas niya ay si contrapositive pala ang kaparehas niya ay si conditional. Si converse, logically equivalent naman siya kay converse. Let's try this one. Okay. Write the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive of the statement. A number is divisible by 2 if it is an even number. So remember the converse, ang converse natin ay kaparehas siya ni inverse. The conditional statement there is if a number is divisible by 2, then parang baliktad. A number is divisible by 2 if it is. Baliktad ang aking ano. Ito pala yung ating, kasi may ipal dito. Kuburahin ko lang. So yung ating conditional, if it is an even number, then it is divisible by 2. Okay? Unahin natin si converse. What's the converse of that? Anyone? Anong converse niyan? Ang converse po ay Q then P. If Q then P. Ang conditional, P then Q. So baliktarin mo lang ngayon. Ang premise ay magiging conclusion. Ang conclusion ng conditional ay magiging premise ngayon or hypothesis. Ano ang converse? If a number is divisible by 2, then it is an even number. Very good, Micaela. Miguela pala. If a number is divisible by 2, then it is an even number. Then it is even, or if it is even number pala. Next, we have the contrapositive. Ang contrapositive ay the negation of Q, then the negation of P. So yung converse mo, i-negate mo lang siya ngayon. Yun ang ating contrapositive. If a number is divisible, ito yung kanina, no? Daniela, converse. So contrapositive, the negation of Q, then the negation of P. Mali. The negation of Q, then if, tapos then the negation of P. If a number is not divisible by 2, then it is not an even number. Very good. If a number is not divisible by 2, then it is not even, or it's not even number. Okay? The next one, we have the converse. Nakalimutan ko yung inverse na huli. Si inverse, ang inverse natin is that the negation of P, then the negation of Q. So ano kaya ang magiging inverse statement niyan? Inverse is just the negation of the conditional. If it is an odd, bakit naging odd number na? Pwede din yan. If it is an odd number, then it is not divisible by 2. Very good. If it is an odd number, then it is not divisible by 2. Take note, we don't use the word not even because there is a direct translation, or there is a correct word of saying not even. That word is called odd number. Very good. At least naintindihan yung conditional, converse, inverse, and the contrapositive statement. Now, let's try this one. The um, the propositions are Proposition A, Nanay will give you your allowance. Proposition B, you will clean your room. Let's find this one. Itong number 1. If B, then A. Paano ang translation yan? If B, then A. If you will clean your room, then Nanay will give you your allowance. Very good. If you will clean your room, then Nanay will give you your allowance. What about the second one? The negation of B, then the negation of A. The negation of B, then the negation of A. I think that's the contrapositive. Ang number 1 is the converse. If you will not clean your room, then Nanay will not give you your allowance. Very good. If you will not clean your room, then Nanay will not, ano nangyari? Bakit may lumabas na kung ano-ano dito sa aking slide? Dali, ayun. Then Nanay will not give you your allowance. Number 3, that's the negation of A, then the negation of B. That's the inverse. Nanay will not give you your allowance, then you will not clean your room. Correct. If Nanay will not give you your allowance, then you will not clean your room. Clear na po ba yung statement? I think so kasi marami naman nakatama. Now let's have now the truth table, my favorite. Kasi others medyo nalilito sa truth table, I mean sa statement, then let's have now the truth table. So same thing, we'll have we'll have two proposition and Q. So meron tayong apat dyan na column. So this is true, false, false. Q ito ha. Kailangan ko muna ng, wala na. So we have P, then Q. Okay, tandaan natin ang P, then Q, nagiging false lang siya kapag true ang ating premise, which is P, at false yung ating conclusion. Doon lang siya nagiging false. So this is true, this is false, this is true, this is true. Okay? Tapos kailangan kayo ng P and Q. So P and Q is true when P is true and then Q is false. That's P, F, F, F. That's correct. We have true, false, false, false. Tapos kailangan ko siyang i-negate kasi meron tayong negation. The negation of P and Q. So we have the false, true, true, true. And last, we have if P then Q or the negation of P and Q. So remember, kapag or yan, at least one is true, the whole statement is true. So titingin ka dito sa column ng conditional at titingin ka sa column ng the negation of P and Q. Pero or yan, so this is true, this is true, true, correct. That's correct, Christina, Daniela. So it's an example of, ano nga yan? Ang sabi ko, kapag mag-true yung last column lahat, what's the term applied to that in logic? It's an example of,
Tautology.
very good, tautology. Kapag yan ay false, it's an example of contradiction. Neither true nor false, wala tayong term na ina-apply dyan. Okay? Now, I wanted to try this one. P or Q, then P. Give me the truth table of that. So, nyo ba na gumawa pa ako ng table o kayo na? Kasi iba-iba yung table na pwede nyo magawa. Sigawan nito ha. Meron tayong P and Q. Kayo na magawa. P or Q, P or Q, then P. Hindi naman, template naman itong first column. From Daniela, true, 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 false. Last column, kay Marian, it's a tautology. Oh, iba-iba din ang sagot. Okay, let's wait for the others. From Christina, true, true, false, true. Last column lang po ang isagutin nyo ha, ang i-type nyo. Kasi yun lang naman ang tanong dyan. From Mark, Ranil, Delmindo, true, true, false, true. Let's wait for the others. We'll have the 1 minute. Nalubat na pala ako. From Miguela, true, 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 false. Medyo diverse ang sagot, ano? Ito pala, sir. True, true, false, true. From Marian. Okay, let's see. Joy, can you give me Joy, Rubinesha, the truth table of the third column? Kayo ba i-unmute ang microphone mo, Joy? True, 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 false. True, true, okay. So, or yan, ibig sabihin, isa lang yung true, the whole statement is true. So, true, 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 false. Okay? That's correct. Tapos, itong nasa fourth column, that's a conditional statement. Ang ating premise is yung third column. Ang conclusion is yung first column. So, this will be true, true, this is false, and this is true. So, true, true, false, true siya. Ito yung conclusion, ito yung premise natin. Okay? Question? Medyo parang apat na klaseng sagot ang nakita ko, ano? But there are also a lot of students who got it correctly. Let's have number 3. No question. Okay. Let's have number 3. Go. Ang i-type nyo lang yung last column lang. Andito ba si Villar? Nahanap ng magulang niya. Tingnan natin. Oh, very good. Brian is here. Parang wala, ano? Wala. True, true, false, false from Marian. Okay, very good. I think majority or all of the students who submitted their answer got it correctly. The truth table there is true, true, false, false. But for the benefit of those students who find it still confused, let's have the truth table. The negation of Q, sa mga absent last week, there is no format of how many columns that you are going to make in your truth table. For as long as the last column will be the P or P and the negation of Q, yung tinatanong in other words. So, the negation of Q, that's false. This is true. This is false. This is true. You'll just negate or get the opposite statement of your Q. So, P or the negation of Q, titingin ka kay P at saka kay Q. So, this is true. This is true. False. And this is true. Then, P or the negation of Q, dapat yung fourth column mo ay true at the same time yung first column mo ay true para magkaroon tayo ng true statement dyan. So this is true, false, false. Last example. Construct the truth table of this proposition. True, true, false. Iba-iba sagot. Okay, let's make it fast. Parang pili ko marami nakakuha, ano. So, uulitin ko, walang template kung ilang column ang gagawin mo sa table. Basta makita natin sa last column to, yun lang kasi i-check diyan. May mga magagaling talaga sa truth table na minsan, P and Q lang yung nilalagay, tapos yung dulo na yung tanong. Ako, I must admit, kailangan ko ipakita talaga step by step. Kasi medyo, visual learner ako. Hindi ako auditory. So, I'll have to get first the negation of P. So, this is false, false, true, true. And then, the negation of Q, false, true, false, true. So, I have to get now the negation of P, then the negation of Q, or the inverse of the statement. So, the negation of P and the negation of Q, this is true. Kasi false, false. False statement implies false statement. False statement and then another false statement that implies a true statement. False statement, true statement, that's a true statement. And then true, false, this is false. True, true, and that is true. Next, we have P and the inverse of the statement. So, ito yung P, tapos ito yung inverse, tapos yan ay N. Ibig sabihin, you have P must be true and then the inverse statement must be true. to have the compound statement a true statement. So ito ay magiging true kasi true siya, tapos true. True ito, tapos true din, so true. False, tapos false, so false. False, tapos true, tapos, false pala, sorry. This is false. So the answer will be true, true, false, false. Question? Now this will be your activity 4A. You'll just do it in words, converse, contrapositive, and the inverse of this statement. This will be your activity 4B. You have to construct the truth table. Okay?
Sir, pwede po magtanong.
Yes, question.
Yung sa last slide po, parang
Ito,
naano po ako nalit.
ito,
Opo, ayan po.
go.
Opo. TF. TF. Ano po yung sa pangatlo pong row ba to? Yung po
Application
sa
of P. Ito
sa
ba?
TTF po. Sa may circle po. Yung pangatlo po dun, false po yan.
Ito.
False po talaga yan.
Negation of P.
So,
Kasi true, tapos false. So false siya.
false po.
Di ba yung premise mo ay true, pero yung conclusion mo ay false? Ang premise mo ay true, ang conclusion mo ay false. So false pa din siya.
Opo, T and
Wait,
F.
nag-copy ka yung gitna.
Wait lang po. So, kung T and F po, false po siya.
Kapag
Hindi po
ka-conditional.
true. Akala ko po, inverse po yun.
Kaya inverse na. Kaya kinuha natin ang negation of P. Alam ko na. Ang tinignan
Sige po.
mo ito, ano? Ito yung inverse.
Wait lang po.
Dito na magagaling yung inverse.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Ang kinuha mo yung kanyang conditional.
Opo.
Kaya siguro
Nalito
true ang
po ako.
sagot mo. Okay?
Thank you po.
Question? Dati, yung sa table kanina, hindi kasi yung sa table kanina, conditional yon. Yan yung inverse kinuha. Haba pa yung table kasi pag ipapakita pa natin yung conditional. May question pa? Screenshot muna. Anyway, I'll send naman right after the class. Ano. Before we end the session, I'd like to share this one. Huwag muna umalis ha. Discard kit. Kasi sasave ko pala ito. Starting next week, someone will take over my class as a substitute teacher because I'll be filing my leave hanggang end na yun ng school year. So I want to share this one. Dapat ginagawa ko to sa end ng school year pa talaga. Pero since this will be my last time, I want to share this, it's called a short story, which I've learned during my second year high school. Ito ay na-share sa akin na aking teacher ng second year. That teacher is the reason why I took up teaching course as my bread and butter. So it's called the pencil parable. So it's a story that in the beginning, the pencil maker spoke to the pencil saying, there are 5 things you need to know before I send you out into the world. Always remember them and you will become the best pencil maker you can be. The first lesson is that you will be able to do many great things, but only if you allow yourself to be held in someone's hand. The second lesson is you will experience a painful sharpening from time to time, but this is required if you are to become a better pencil. The third lesson, you have the ability to correct any mistakes you might make. the fourth lesson is the most important part of you will always be what is on your inside. The fifth lesson is no matter what the condition, you must continue to write. You must always leave a clear, legible mark, no matter how difficult the situation. Okay? So I'll be asking some of you to read the first to fifth lesson kasi medyo magulo kapag ka magko-chorus tayo. But this time, hindi pa pala tapos. The pencil understood, promising to remember, and went into the box, fully understanding its maker's purpose. Papalitan natin ngayon yung salitang you. We'll be replacing the pencil with the word you. Ulitin ko ha, yung salitang pencil, papalitan natin ng salitang you or I. So always remember them and never forget, and you will become the best person you can be. Let's start with Daniela. Palitan mo yung you at ng I, Daniela.
I will be able to do many great things, but only if I allow myself to be held in God's hand and allow other human beings to access me for the many gifts I possess.
So the first lesson actually class taught us that on every surface that you walk, you must leave your mark. No matter what no matter what the situation, you must continue your life and never give up in everything. It always leave a mark in every day of our life, of your life. If you earn a lot of memories that surely will be remain with your mind and with your heart, and you must continue to serve God in everything. Okay? So let's have the next one, Mark Del Mindo. Hindi ko makita kung saan yung nag-erase. Mark?
I will experience a painful sharpening from time to time by going through various problems, but I will need to be become stronger person.
Okay. So as a student, the most important part of you will always be what's on the inside. It's not about your physical appearance. It's not about your beauty, because as we all know, beauty is in the eye of the behavior, and you must always believe in yourself. The most important part of you is intangible, and it will not see by the other person, but they will feel it. Okay, let's have the third one. I want Sandara Ballesteros.
I will be able to correct mistakes I might make or grow through them.
Okay. So you will be able to correct any mistakes that you make. Kasi mga bata pa naman kayo. As a student, you can always experience mistakes. That's normal. You can always correct mistakes. You can always experience mistake in your life. In able to correct it, and you must apply every lessons that you make, that you earn in mistakes that you make. Okay, let's have Alexi Grana. Grana.
The most, the most important part of I will always be what's on the inside.
Okay, so the fourth lesson of this parable taught us that you will experience a painful sharpening from time to time. So medyo magkakaroon ka ng financial problem, you are going to went through a lot of hardships sa pag-aaral nyo by going through various problems, but you'll need it to become a stronger person. There is no shortcut to success. You need it to experience consequences, problems, trials for you to learn, and it set you to become a stronger person. Let's have Jersey Rain, the fifth one.
On every surface I walk, I must leave my mark. No matter what the situation, I must continue to serve God in everything.
The fifth lesson will teach us that you will be able to do many great things, but only if you allow yourself to be held by the others and allow yourself to be held in God's hand. We should allow also other human beings to access us for the mini gift that you possess. Okay? So everyone is like a pencil created by the maker for a unique, special purpose. By understanding and remembering, let us proceed with our life on this earth, having a meaningful purpose in our heart and a relationship with God daily. You were made to do great things. So thank you. This is me, your your advisor signing off. And I hope that you are going to inspire by this parable because this is the reason why I decided na kumuha ako ng isang course ng teaching. It was an exciting school year, although punong-puno ito ng problema because the distance learning is new to us. Mayaman, mahirap na estudyante, master teacher o teacher one na ordinaryong teacher ngayon ay nangapa pero nairaos natin ito. So thank you very much and I hope that you are going to use this lesson sa mga susunod na sa mga susunod na aabangan yung greatest na journey nyo sa buhay. Okay, thank you very much and goodbye. Before I forget, kailangan lamanan ang Google Classroom kasi ito-take over ko na yung grades doon sa papalit sa akin. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you po.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye.
Bye
Po.
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 Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Sir.